by Jefferson by 6.
Yeah, I in my home league, I made a trade, by the way, too, because
Right.
I'm just sick of my bad quarterback, so I traded Ayuk for Kirk Cousins.
Damn. Okay.
I'm really deep at wide receiver. I was like, you know what? And my league market dynamic, like a lot of people value or they roster second quarterbacks,
Dude.
even if they already have great quarterbacks, which is really annoying, but they end up doing it. Anyways, we
Well,
are live. You guys can see it. We're just like mid conversation after I hit the go live button. But yeah, we're live a little early tonight because we do have 2 games on. First one kicking off at 7:15, Bills and Titans, and I have the parlay of a century relying on the Buffalo Bills covering 9.5 points because I hit the Chargers plus, or no, not the Chargers one. Sorry, I hit the Cardinals plus 5.5, which was kind of rigged, to be honest. Didn't look like it was going to hit, and then they come back and hit. Falcons backdoor covered as well, and the what was the other bet? And the Texans covered the spread against the Broncos. So I just need the Buffalo Bills to outscore the Titans by 9.5 or 10 or more.
I know. Wait, by the way, that Cardinals fucking game was just insane. I still like going up into the fourth quarter. I still remember like everybody was like, Kyler's doing shit because COD's coming out, the beta's out, this, that. And then like fourth quarter and overtime, he just absolutely shredded. Also,
yeah, Scott Hansen was like, he answered the Call of Duty at the end of the game.
Dude,
so elite.
Also, why is Greg Dortch just showing that maybe Rondale will actually be decent when he comes back?
Yeah, man. I'm actually like starting to think that Rondale might actually be good when he comes back because the role that Dortch is playing is what Rondale's going to play. And Kirk was good in that role last year too. So it's possible that Rondale actually isn't a complete bum when he comes back.
Yeah. And as I'm making my waivers for this week, prepping the show, obviously, of course, James Conner is like, oh no, he's expected to come back by next week. So that just puts a whole wrench on everybody who dropped the video today. It's like, Darrell Williams there was like, yeah, no, you're augmenting that bid now.
Yeah, I'm probably still going to pick up Darrell Williams as like a speculative guy. I honestly shouldn't have dropped him in the first place. The only reason I dropped him in my home league, and I still have him in the Big Dogs Bash, the only reason I dropped him in my home league is because I needed to pick up a quarterback as a Prescott.
Yeah, well, the thing with Darrell is like I don't mind rostering him because again, when Connor went out, if you actually looked into it, I'll talk about it for tomorrow's video. But he got all 8 of the snaps in goal line opportunity type of situations. So if Connor were to go down, obviously, if Connor's healthy, he's going to get all of those like crucial type of snaps. But if Connor's off the field, then we saw that they trust Darrell Williams in those situations. And realistically, on a team like the Cardinals, who we expect to pick up from an offensive standpoint, we want those goal line opportunities.
Yeah, and Darrell Williams showed that he can be a good, RB2 at least last year when he was on the Chiefs, replacing Clyde. So, Spicy Hot, the first one in here. Let's fucking go. What up? What up, Justin? Sup, fellas? What's going on? Pionio, the Gringo, Lego. What's up, y'all? What's going on? Let's go, Lions. They my new team. Yeah, man. The Lions are gonna be fun once JMO comes back, man. They're gonna be a fun. They already are a fun offense, but especially once JMO comes back, they're gonna be really fun. The comeback story. Yeah, I mean, I talked about it on the takeaway. So again, if you guys haven't checked it out yet, maybe you're just coming back to the scene or whatever after the games last night. But I dropped a 10 like takeaways video earlier today. It was like 25 minutes or so. And one of the takeaways I had is that the Achilles monster is looking a little bit less scary because J-Rob's doing the Lord's work, and Akers split out even snaps pretty much with Darrell Henderson, even touches pretty much, and then Mo Ibrahim of the Minnesota Gophers, who also tore his Achilles last year, is like second in the NCAA in rushing right now. So definitely interesting to see. And I would say rest of season, I'm taking Akers over Darrell Henderson straight up.
Oh, I'll take Akers, but I will say like Henderson is still like people might be disappointed.
At minimum, they're both like in that Ramondre Damian Harris range rest of season probably, but I will still take Akers on the off chance that he just outright wins the job.
Yep, and I'll get back to it in a second. Let's address Brandon Super 1999. Appreciate that. Wow, appreciate the super chat. He says, "Hey guys, need some help on a trade. My current starting lineup is Hurts, Javonte, Pollard, Jefferson, Chase, Ayuk, and Gerald Everett. Got offered Saquon and Pittman for Jefferson and Pollard. Would you accept? Thanks. Yeah, I love I was just gonna say I love Jefferson, and he's arguably the 101 if we redrafted today, but." Saquon's going to be a top 7 pick if we redrafted today. And Pittman would be probably a late 2, early 3 about where his value was going into the season. So, like, absolutely. From a value standpoint, Saquon, you're getting an anchor running back, one to actually pair with Javonte Williams, who, if I had to rank we're going to have a rest of season rankings video coming out soon, but I think Javonte and Saquon are going to be well within that top 5, top 6 overall range in terms of at the running back position. So I love that offer.
Yeah, I actually have already started doing my rest of season rankings because we're going to drop it for our patrons as well. So if you guys are members of the Patreon, you'll get rest of season rankings into a post there as well. I have Saquon RB3 rest of season. I have Javonte Williams RB5. Or no, sorry, I'm looking at overall. I have Saquon RB3 rest of season, and I have Javonte Williams RB6 rest of season. So yeah,
So who do you have?
Swift and Eckler above Javonte.
I have Javonte over Eckler.
Yeah, I'm not ready to give up on Eckler yet. I think he's going to be a guy that I'm most likely going to talk about in the buy lows video as well, because just law of averages, that offense is going to and it doesn't sound like Justin Herbert's too injured or anything like that. I think that Eckler is going to just correct himself in terms of he's too good of a player. It's too good of an offense for that situation to be down, and I'm going to be firing out offers for Austin Eckler for sure.
I agree with that as well. Again, Eckler, I said he's not in my top 5 right now, but he's number 6. Realistically, I have it right now: McCaffrey, Taylor, Barkley, Swift, and then Javonte Williams, and then Eckler. Yeah. So and by the way, after the top, what would you say, 8 running backs, maybe it starts to get in a weird range where it's you have to project a lot outside of the top 10, especially outside of the top 15. There is a lot of projection for who's going to fill out the RB2s this year, which is why you don't draft those highly. I
have Nick Chubb RB15 and Josh Jacobs RB16, but between AJ Dillon types, Antonio Gibson types, Cordero Patterson types,
James Conner.
JK. Oh, I have him higher than that.
I know. Well, James Conner, is a guy that we were talking about in that range going into the year, but has worked himself into that top 12 area. Also, the split, everything that we thought would happen with Green Bay in terms of that running back backfield. Aaron Jones had the blow up game this week, but their actual opportunity share, AJ Dillon out opportunity to him, and their snap share was almost identical. So it's I just think that's going to be a situation game to game where one of them is going to go off and one of them will be, a solid RB3 type.
I think it's basically going to be the Browns situation, like what we see every week.
Exactly.
Because Hunt and Chubb kind of take turns going off. Last week it was Chubb. The week before it was Hunt. I think the same thing's going to happen in Green Bay, which is exactly why I wasn't drafting either of them. Because obviously if one gets injured, the other one's going to be great. But I wasn't really going to, projectable range of outcomes either of these guys to be a top 10, top 5 running back unless an injury happened to the other guy.
And I'm sure you're going to talk about it in the trade show as well. I'm sure Javonte Williams is probably the main topic of that as well. But
yeah, Javonte and Eckler are definitely going to be the 2 biggest trade targets at running back for me this week.
If you guys have Aaron Jones and someone in your league sees, he just came off a 30-point game, the Packers look good. Exactly. Primetime type of game. And you could flip either of those running backs into a Javonte or Eckler. You go out and do it because the outlooks of those guys are just so nice going for the rest of the season. Let's get back to that other question because I appreciate the super chat. Where do we?
I'm back where we are. The other thing too I wanted to say is that if Dalvin Cook goes off today, send offers Dalvin Cook for Christian McCaffrey straight up. You might be able to get it done because if Dalvin Cook goes off today, McCaffrey's a little down in the dumps right now. Same goes for Barkley coming off a bit of a down game. And even would you trade Dalvin Cook if Dalvin Cook goes off for 30 points today? Would you trade him straight up for Javonte Williams?
I personally would.
I personally would as well, but I don't even think you'd have to. I think you could probably get Javonte plus for Dalvin Cook. And if somebody had Javonte and Kyle Pitts on their team and you have Dalvin Cook and Dallas Goedert and they both have good games tonight, you might be able to pull off a 2-for-2 swap like that. So definitely keep that in mind. Cole says he's new to Underdog. Are you not able to view your teams during the season?
Yes, you can.
You are. So if you go to the live tab and then you go to best ball, you'll be able to see your teams that way. And it shows whatever contest that you're in. So it'll be super flex, pre-draft best ball, whatever. By the way, I have a super flex best ball team that has Tua Tagovailoa, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Baker Mayfield as the quarterbacks before any of those guys were starters. And my receiving core, I shit you not, is Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, you got it.
4 wide receivers. My team is disgusting. I've scored 340 points. I think I might be one of the highest scoring teams in the Superflex puppy right now with that.
I got one with 286 right now. It's actually looking really strong. So Josh Allen, Derek Carr, and given how Wentz has been playing, I doubt Howell sees the field. But if anything happens to Wentz or if he starts going bad, then Howell's a decent shot there. Saquon Barkley, Darrell Henderson, J.D. McKissick, etc. in a hero RB build. Now, wide receiver, you got Devontae Adams, T. Higgins, Jalen Waddle, Deontay Johnson, Elijah Moore, Adam Thielen, with Zach Ertz at tight end. So like that team is looking fun too.
And on that team, that Superflex puppy team that I was just talking about, my running back core is Cam Akers, Antonio Gibson, Rashad Penny, James Cook, James Robinson, and Rex Burkhead. Oh my God. So like the running back core is also absurd for like a hybrid like zero RB that I built out there. So let's get to some questions here. Yo Oof says best YouTube channel out there. Definitely appreciate that. Justin, I traded away Cup for St. Brown in full PPR. Or sorry, Cup for St. Brown and Tyreek in full PPR. I mean, if you needed the depth, I think that's not a bad trade whatsoever.
I think that's a great deal.
An elite receiver in Tyreek Hill and a guy that I think in full PPR league should be a top 15 receiver for the rest of the year with Amon-Ra.
Well, he mentioned this on the YouTube video, and I actually replied to it. The way I look at this, I think Cup right now, whether you have him one or two, like him, Justin Jefferson, flip a fucking coin. Let's be honest; those are the top two. But if I were to like re-rank him now, and I'm sure we'll get into it this weekend, like Tyreek Hill and Amon-Ra St. Brown are both also top 10 receivers for me rest of the season.
You think Amon-Ra's top 10 rest of the season?
Yes.
Really? Eh?
Well, realistically, outside because I think the 6 and 7 right now, you can make the case probably Tyreek and AJ Brown. Give or take.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You could make the case of Amon-Ra's the next guy after that. Adams already in the top 5.
What about Diggs?
5.
Chase?
3.
Okay.
So like those.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm miscounting how many players you got there. Yeah, you're good.
Like,
you're good.
The top 5 going into the year, the only range that starts getting questionable is like at the CD Lamb range. And realistically, I mean, you could probably say right now AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill would be the current 6-7 given what we've seen and what we could project, especially with Dak's injury. After that, I mean, you can make the case of Amon-Ra St. Brown over Mike Evans. You can make the case of Amon-Ra St. Brown over CD Lamb. Like what like outside of draft capital going into the season, going into last season, actually, what's stopping Amon-Ra St. Brown?
No, not much, especially in full PPR. I think he definitely has, the target. Like we've seen this guy literally command a 30% target share in 8 straight games. Like it's pretty insane what he's been doing. So you can make the argument, like he's doing things that Michael Pittman isn't even doing. Yeah. Like right now, as we think of like the alpha wide receiver 1 archetype, and Amon-Ra's out targeting a guy like Michael Pittman Jr., who's probably a consensus top 10 receiver for most people for the rest of the season once he gets back on the field.
You can make the case right now. Like, again, I think Cooper Kupp's probably going to end up getting there, but like Amon-Ra St. Brown should finish the year close to top 5 in targets.
Yeah, I definitely could. It's definitely possible. I mean, we said this going in why we liked Amon-Ra so much was because he had the 150 range of outcome targets for him there. Corey says, "Come on, Moss, get me 6 points." Oh, you starting Zach Moss tonight? That's gross. I sent you the link, by the way, Spicy Hot, so you can join up. What's up, guys? Crazy stuff yesterday with your team's games. Yeah, man. The Bucks. I had Jameis Winston, Michael Thomas in my starting lineup for my home league, and I didn't give a shit. And thankfully, they scored a garbage time touchdown. Did good. They scored a garbage time touchdown for me, but I wanted to see my Buccaneers absolutely step on the throats of the New Orleans Saints, and I saw that, and I was very excited to see that. So, happy Victory Monday. Hold your L, Saints fans. I'm seeing them complain about like cheap shots from Mike Evans on Twitter. It's like, you guys need to like, if they had won the game, nobody would care. It's because they lost the game that they're all upset about. It's like we were starting a JV receiver core and we still destroyed you. So, I mean, our secondary looks like it might be the best in the league this year.
Oh, I agree. Your secondary has looked really good. I mean, Jamel Dean has stepped up a lot too. I'll tell you that.
Jamel Dean always had that in him. He's had games like that. If he can continue consistently
first 2 games
play that way the entire season, he's a better corner than Carlton at his ceiling.
Yeah, well, like what I noticed too, obviously in the Cowboys game specifically, but like I noticed even against the Saints, right? Like you guys don't give a fuck. You will press against any fucking receiver core because you have the cornerback talent to be able to deal with any receiver core.
They're
your
big,
cornerback core is insane.
And Dean, they're like draw them up in a lab size wise for corners. Like Jamel Dean is like 6'2", 215 at corner. He is a big guy. And he runs a 4.3 flat, so he has the recovery speed to be able to let Olave get behind him and still be able to catch up. Yeah. So it's pretty wild to me. Like if he could all put it all together and shit, and it's always been mental for him for the most part. He could be one of the best corners in the league.
No, I fully agree. I think there's an argument to be made that you guys and the Bills are the 2 best teams in the NFL right now. Like genuinely.
Yeah.
What we've seen.
Bills defense looks as good as their offense too. I think the Bills are a better team than us for sure because their offense looks way better than our offense. But for the most part, once we get healthy, I think we should be okay. And Godwin's the key piece we need back.
We got a couple super shares I'll quickly get to. One from Mike. Appreciate that. He says rest of season Olave, Burks, Walker, PPR. I would rank it in the order you have it.
Yeah, I would as well. I do like Walker though, as
Yeah.
for
Oh, I
especially
agree.
for Dynasty. If you guys are rebuilding in Dynasty leagues, I think Kenneth Walker's such easy value to recoup.
Yep.
We've talked about the possibility with Kenneth Walker in Dynasty of being like this year's Javonte Williams, this year's like Cam Akers, where Rashad Penny gets cut in the offseason or moves on in free agency, and then suddenly just by happenstance,
Like a
Kenneth
top
Walker's
6.
elevated to a top 6, top 10 Dynasty running back because he's young. He's going to have a full workload, and I think rebuilding teams right now who have no real urge to get points, Kenneth Walker is the perfect guy to go trade for because you can probably get him for like a receiver that you would have drafted way later in the draft. Like if somebody loves George Pickens or whatever, you could probably flip him straight up for Kenneth Walker. And I would much rather have Kenneth Walker even in a rebuild where I don't typically love getting running backs. I think Walker's just walking value accumulation easily.
You might have to add a piece, but you could probably flip right now. What Damian Peterson, like a win now type of receiver, maybe for him.
Yeah, I definitely think you could flip any of these like random wide receiver 3 types also for Kenneth Walker straight up because like as much as we like guys like Brandon Ayuk or whatever, like he's gonna have way less value than Kenneth Walker once Kenneth Walker gets into a full workload. So definitely like some moves like that.
$2 super here from Corey. Appreciate that. He just says that team is a rebuild, so you don't want to win, so you don't want Moss to do that.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't want Moss to do that. I'm 2-0 in the Bitcoin League, by the way, which is irritating as hell. Because I don't even have Deshaun Watson playing right now. It's just Justin Herbert, Drake London, and freaking Justin Jefferson doing the Lord's work for me.
In the Mickey Mouse League, bro, I shit you not. So last week I put up 120 points and I won. And this week I'm about to put up 130 points. Keep in mind, my starting quarterbacks are Jimmy Garoppolo and Baker Mayfield. I had Jimmy Garoppolo starting at quarterback when he was going into the game as a backup because I didn't have any other quarterback. And he got me 20 points.
Yeah, that's brutal.
Makes no sense.
Yeah, and that's the downside too of one of my leagues in Get Faded. I was on track to be, one trick or one-way trip to Bijan Robinson. And then some guy sent me an offer of like, what did I get Justin Herbert for? Like 2 late firsts or something like that. I'm like, I have to make this deal. I'm probably not going to get Bijan because of it, but I'm like, this guy is literally giving me Justin Herbert for free. I saw him. I'll pull up the deal while you pull up the
wasn't it Dalvin Cook in a first?
Deal. Huh?
Wasn't it Dalvin Cook in a first?
No. That was the Watson trade. I gave Dalvin Cook in a second for Deshaun Watson while Deshaun Watson's.
Didn't you get Watson and a second for Dalvin? That's what I thought.
No, it was Dalvin and a 2 for Watson.
Either way, we got a couple supers too while you're searching that up. First one from Alex: Curtis Samuel, Garrett Wilson off waivers. Marquise Brown ain't doing it for me. First of all, do not drop Marquise Brown. Please don't do that. Okay, promise me that. Second of all, if you do have a couple spots open and you don't, have to drop Marquise Brown to do it, I would personally go with Garrett Wilson because I think there's a chance he could be like this year's T. Higgins, this year's CeeDee Lamb. However, I do think Curtis Samuel is solid, but I mean, Garrett Wilson's got the opportunity to be a top 15 wide receiver down the stretch.
Yeah, for sure. Do not drop Marquise Brown for that. But
don't drop Marquise Brown though.
Sorry, the trade was a little better than I said it was. The trade was Justin Herbert and 2 like early to mid seconds for 3 late firsts in 2023.
It's nothing.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, because I saw him, he's like trying to rebuild and he put his entire team on the block. And I'm like, this guy wants picks, right? I had 6 ones. I'm like, I bet I can get Justin Herbert for a discount because this guy wants to rebuild. And that's exactly what ended up happening. So definitely not in a bad spot, but it's costing me like not having an elite top 3 overall pick with my own draft pick because I keep winning games because I have the entire receiver class.
Is it not potential points?
In my lineup. I have Olave, I have Drake London, I have Jahan Dotson. All these like rookie wide receivers that I drafted this year are all doing super well right away, and I have Justin Herbert doing well too.
Is it not based off potential points?
It is, but I'm still just winning games.
Fair. Yeah. We got another superhero. Appreciate that from Dante. He says no Gabe tonight. No Gabe tonight. He got ruled out. Flex Singletary, Burks, or Mackenzie Standard. I'm going to go with Devin Singletary here. I think that the Bills are going to absolutely mollywop the Titans tonight. And if that's the case, Devin Singletary's got a really positive game script to be able to have a good solid one here. Hopefully long term that this answer is Burks because I do think with more routes he could potentially be like a top 30 wide receiver given the opportunity.
Yeah, agreed. The Gringo says, how do you think Knox is looking tonight with no Gabe Davis? I think Knox was, not really losing any value for me last week either. So I'm cool just throwing him out there if you got no other tight end option. Is Jahan Dotson a must start? Superflex 12 team start 10.
Start 10.
Pretty deep starting roster. Yeah, I think he's a solid flex option each week.
I would consider him around a wide receiver 4 right now. So like if we're doing our rankings on a week-to-week basis, he's probably going to be
top 36 guy. I would say like top 40 guy.
35 to 40 is about where I would say. So like
and well
right
enough
there.
that he definitely should be getting more targets thrown his way and stuff. And the Commanders are throwing at like a very high rate above expectation and stuff, which is awesome to see because for some reason they trust Carson Wentz.
Got another super here from Nigel. Appreciate that. He says Monty and Bateman in exchange for DJ Moore and Ertz upgrade Freiermuth. I don't think this would be enough for me to move off of Monty and Bateman. Because I mean,
I don't see Zach Ertz as an upgrade to Freiermuth. I think I'd rather have Freiermuth the rest of the season.
They're close.
Especially I would probably Hopkins is eventually going to come back. I'm going to take Freiermuth. Freiermuth is playing out of his mind right now. Like he's playing really well. And Trubisky and him seemed like he's getting like 8 targets a game, and that's like all I can ask for at tight end. So I would rather have Freiermuth than Zach Ertz rest of the season. And DJ Moore versus Bateman is probably a conversation straight up, and then you're giving up a guy that has at least a volume share with Montgomery.
Yep, agree with that. Fellas, I need some serious advice. Drop it in here, Evan. Drop it in.
Yeah, he dropped it. Let me pull it up here. He said he traded Rodgers, Juju, and Jameson Williams, I think. Or maybe Jamal Williams. I have no idea. Or Javonte Williams. I don't know. There's a lot of Jay Williamses, so please specify who that is. But
please be.
Yeah, I'm guessing just looking at the trade, it makes me look like
Javonte because he says
looks like Javonte based on the context of the trade here.
So you got Rodgers, Juju, and Javonte for Breece and Deontay.
No, he traded Rodgers, Juju, and Javonte for Breece and Deontay.
Evan, I also need the scoring settings, and I need if this is a super flex or not, because if that's Aaron Rodgers, that's very pivotal information.
Also.
Yes, please be specific in these. Yeah, appreciate it.
Let's go Cowboys.
Yes, sir.
Is it time to panic if I have Kyle Pitts? No. Elijah Moore? No. Joe Burrow? No. Travis Etienne? Yeah, probably.
Panic more so. Adjust your expectation.
He's not in your starting lineup anymore.
He's instead of a top 24 running back, probably like top 30 to 35, I would say.
Yeah, which is disappointing as hell. But J-Rob's just defying the laws of physics right now.
Well, I don't even think it's more so J-Rob because like the opportunity.
I think it is J-Rob. I think he's just playing way better than him, and that's why they're giving him the volume.
No, but I'm saying they don't. Like in terms of their actual projection, if we were to like put one or the other in our lineup next week, like their opportunity for the most part in terms of actual snap share has been similar.
It's been similar, but J-Rob outran more routes than him this past week, and is getting
which is not good, yeah.
And is getting way more early down work than him, so it's not great. I would say the other 3 guys I would not be concerned about though. Elijah Moore, eventually that's going to correct itself, especially if Garrett Wilson starts drawing some attention. Kyle Pitts, I mean, like definition of positive regression candidate, and then Joe Burrow. They're going to figure their shit out for whatever reason. It's a new offensive line. It's starting to take some time to gel. I don't expect Joe Burrow to be very bad for the rest of the season. I think he's going to be fine.
If you have Gerald Everett right now and you could package, a wide receiver 3 or 4 type and go up and get Kyle Pitts, and do
Freiermuth or Ertz too. They're both all those 3 guys are like similar scoring wise. I think all those 3 that we just mentioned are like tight end 4 to 6 or something right now in points per game. If you can take those guys and use them to get to Pitts, it's just such an easy move to make. Akers or Pierce rest of the season. This is probably a legitimate conversation, Akers. I would say, but I'll take Akers as well. I think the safety of terms of like workload is definitely in favor of Pierce because he did show that he's like the early down guy, the goal line guy this past week. But I mean, I think the further we get into the season, the more Akers is going to get volume because I don't think Henderson is very good. I never have thought Henderson was very good. And I think Sean McVay knows that too because they keep trying to replace him.
However, on the caveat of Akers versus Henderson, I think Henderson's probably going to be the 3rd down back and Akers is probably going to get the goal line work. That's probably what their plan is going to be.
That's weird because we saw the exact opposite scenario play out this past week where Akers
Henderson got the 3rd down snaps.
He got the 3rd down snaps, but Akers got more targets.
Yeah, but I care about the opportunity.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, I'm just saying, like, it's I think Akers and Henderson are probably going to split touches until one guy separates himself from the other, and in that scenario, I'm going to take the guy who I think is better, which is Akers.
Yep, I agree. We actually got 2 supers here, actually 3. Sorry, let me get to it. So we got one here from Gage. Appreciate that $1.99. He says trading Josh Allen and Kamara for Swift, Javonte, and Derek Carr. I mean, you're getting 2 of my top 5 running backs rest of the season, and you're getting Derek Carr, who's probably going to be a top 10 quarterback. Or Allen's not top 10, top 15 quarterback.
It hurts losing Allen, but I would take the 2 running backs.
Give me the 2 backs there.
Yeah, especially knowing Kamara's dealing with this injury too. It helps mitigate some of that risk.
Nigel, appreciate the super chat as well. RSD, I think that's Serbian
It's
dollars.
Serbian dollars, I believe. Yeah.
Appreciate that. He says, have DJ Moore, CD, Justin Jefferson, Keenan Allen. Oh my God, wow. My running backs are Javonte Hall, B-Rob, 12 team, half PPR, tight end Ertz and Muth. What trade should I go to make an upgrade at running back? Honestly, like,
does Travis Etienne is so down in the dumps right now? Does like Zach Ertz and like a bench piece get you to Travis Etienne if somebody has no tight end right now?
If somebody picked that guy in the 4th round, I doubt that there's a chance that they would let them go for that.
I think people are pretty down on ETN right now. Maybe you can't get to ETN. Maybe it's just like a fringe guy. To answer your question, I would say try and trade one of your tight ends for an upgrade at running back.
Yeah, no.
And maybe it's not a great guy. Maybe it's just like some random ambiguous backfield handcuff type or whatever. I would probably just do that because I don't think you need both of those tight ends.
It's fair. Another $2. Appreciate that from Day Wade. Outscore Sanders by 8. Robert Woods, Jamison Crowder, or Kenneth Gainwell. If you need to outscore Sanders by 8, I would go with Robert Woods because I think the opportunity is going to be the best there. Though Crowder is a little bit interesting.
Play is to play Gainwell if you need to outscore Sanders.
I guess, but at the same time, you're also limiting your own ceiling.
You are, but like if Gainwell gets the goal line work and the receiving work and maybe has a big play or something, that means Sanders probably didn't do much of anything.
However, though, if Sanders goes off, then that probably means Gainwell.
Right. It means you're guaranteed losing. Yeah, that's for sure.
I would go Woods. It's obviously a tough matchup against that Bills defense that looks
targets
phenomenal.
Will definitely be in his favor, though. Yeah. Jamison Crowder's interesting though with Gabe Davis out.
I would agree with that. However, he did split a lot of the slot opportunity last week. I'm very interested to see if one of McKenzie or him goes outside, or if they bring in, their next man up to play that true outside wide receiver role. So it's a very
I'd say
weird
Woods
situation.
Is probably the best bet though, because
I would say Woods.
He's probably the best bet for target volume, but you got the Bills implied for like a lot of points to put on the board. So Crowder becomes interesting just because of that.
So who would be their next man up? Would it be Shakir or would it be do they have another vet in Buffalo?
I think Shakir, I guess, would be the 4th receiver this week.
Could be a decent play in DFS, by the way.
Not bad. I'm probably not gonna mess with him, but
I mean, I'm just curious to see like if they put one of those slot receivers on the outside, or if they have like somebody else step up to play that outside role.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I think Shakir, by the time the season is done, should have won the 3rd receiver job. To be honest, I think he's the 3rd best receiver on the team based on what I saw from him in college. But he was a late round pick, so he's gonna have an uphill battle for sure.
Another $2 super chat. I appreciate that from Mike. He says, "How are you guys feeling about Mooney and Pollard PPR?" I really like Pollard, especially with Dak out. I do think everything we've heard from Kellen Moore, everything we've heard from the offensive game plan was in week 1 they really couldn't get him going. They really couldn't get him involved in that game plan. And as we saw against the Bengals, I mean, he was arguably their best offensive player in that game, especially that near 47-yard touchdown that got called down on the inch line, ended up punching it in. Like, he looked explosive. He looked like he had juice. And the exact opposite can be said about Ezekiel in that game. Like, Tony Pollard, given that type of game plan, given the fact that you're not going to want to pound the ball up the middle, especially when you don't have a quarterback that can realistically make up for, a 2-yard 2nd and 10 run, which they seem to be doing every single goddamn drive against Tampa. You don't have a quarterback to make up for that. So instead you want the running back that can make the big play, that can get you in field position to potentially put points on the board. So I do think Pollard could be, a 15 opportunity per game type of back going forward.
Yeah. And thankfully I don't have to make any of those decisions about Mooney because I literally drafted him nowhere. I was not in on Darnell Mooney. I thought, target volume, sure. But he kind of like reminded me of like an expensive Jacoby Myers this year, where it's like, yeah, he's probably going to get targets, but like they're not valuable targets. And Justin Fields and the Bears offense aren't going to be scoring very many points. So yeah, I would say if you guys have Mooney, he's probably not going to have very much open market value because he's in a bad offense and he's not even really getting that many targets right now. So yeah, I probably would just hold at this point.
I agree. About the Bears offense, such a funny tweet was tweeted out today. The Bears passing offense has 15 total completed passes in their 2 games. And David Montgomery has 33.3% of their receptions. I've never seen such an archaic offense in my life. It genuinely looks like the Bears are playing in the 1970s right now, the way that they're calling an offense.
Yeah, and unfortunately, they have a 2022 quarterback archetype that would never be available in the 1970s for somebody to operate. Imagine throwing Justin Fields into the 1970s era. If you gave him to like Bill Walsh or something, he would probably run roughshod on the entire NFL. But like
Bro,
you give him an architect of,
Luke
who's
Getzey.
Luke Getzey. Like I don't even fucking know that guy's
And
name.
listen, I love Matt Eberflus. He's a great defensive coordinator. He used to be the Cowboys linebacker coach. He was the defensive coordinator out in Indy, but like he's not the type of head coach that's going to go to Luke Getzey and say, "Yeah, you fucking suck at calling an offense. I'm going to take the reins." Because Matt Eberflus has never called an offense in his life. So I don't see this fix unless they fire Getzey being fixed anytime soon.
Rolando says, "What are we doing with Mooney?" Yeah, a lot of Mooney panic. I would say he's probably just going to ride your bench. If you got like Jahan Dotson, Chris Olave, or something, I would much rather play him than Darnell Mooney at this point. Tua, Waddle, and Hill. Sheesh. Yeah, literally, I played against the Tua, Waddle, Hill stack. In
Wait, in your home league?
No. Sorry, my
Oh.
buddy, one of my friends, has a Tua, Waddle, Hill stack, and he literally messaged me. He's like, "My team is going absolutely berserk."
Did you win in your home league this week?
Not officially, but yeah, probably. I have
There you go.
So I am up 93 to like 66 right now. Shout out
What
to
a fucking slugfest.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to I haven't had any quarterback production each of the last 2 games because Dak got hurt and Jameis Winston sucks. So I have 96 points right now, and I still have Dalvin to play. So Dalvin can have a huge
you're
game,
chilling.
obviously. And he has 63, and he has Dallas Goedert and Adam Thielen to play. So it's pretty much it's a lock, pretty much. So
I see you got a lock there. I got, like I was saying it right before the stream started, I have a very, very interesting scenario because I was telling you, like, I had Evans in. This guy decides to take a swing at Marcus Lattimore or Marshawn Lattimore. I keep calling him Marcus Lattimore.
I know everybody's obsessed with the freaking was it South Carolina running back or
Shout
whatever.
out for former South Carolina 49ers running back that basically career got ended due to 2 ACL tears, 2013, I believe. So unfortunate there, but Mike Evans put me in a bind there. But I'm going into Monday night right now. He has Justin Jefferson, so that fucking scares the living shit out of me. I have Adam Thielen, and I'm up by 6 points PPR. So I think I'm gonna lose, but at the same time, like there's still a chance. You get a classic Adam Thielen 2 touchdown night on Monday Night Football.
Does happen. Says, I know this is a waiver wire question, but Eno or Darrell, other channels have Darrell higher, but Eno is second on the depth chart. I do think Darrell's the backup.
I would rather stash Darrell.
And he's going to break it down.
Yeah.
Darrell Williams got the snaps. He was the guy getting the goal line work, the guy getting the early down work. Eno Benjamin will be more valuable without James Conner on the field than he is now. But if I had to say who gets the valuable touches in that offense, I think it will be Darrell Williams because he can also contribute as a receiver, just like, Eno Benjamin can. But it'll probably be more of like a 50-50 type of split rather than like Darrell just assumes James Conner's workload.
Yep, I agree. Do we wait? Did I miss any? Oh, here. We got also drop Cole Kmet for David Njoku, Logan Thomas, Evan Ingram, half PPR. I'm actually gonna be talking about this too in the streamer show, but I really like the outlook of Evan Ingram. Like,
I actually like Evan Ingram there.
I was going through the peripherals. I mean, this is a guy that is on an offense that has shown it wants to throw the football. And his actual target share and his route participation, over an 80% route participation, which is exactly what you want to see from a streaming tight end. There's a chance going forward, like this is a player that can get, 5 to 7 targets a night. And, if he falls his way into the end zone, that's like 12 points, which should land him in the top 5 at tight end any given week.
Yeah, he's actually been pretty solid. It's pretty wild.
I got another super chat here. Appreciate that from Nido. It says, my bench, Rashad White and Jalen Ward. Should I hold? Sorry, this is the follow-up to his other question. Should you hold that running back? Oh, you kind of mentioned the ETN type of trade. Aside from that, I do like the upside of Rashad White. Leonard Fournette has shown to be a full workhorse so far, but Gio Bernard has been banged up. I'm pretty sure. No, Corey? Gio Bernard's been battling his own injuries, no?
Yeah, he's been dealing with some shit.
And if that's the case, and Leonard Fournette goes down,
hold Rashad White because Leonard Fournette is banged. I guess Najee technically is also, but Rashad White just has much higher of a ceiling. If you say both these guys go down, who you rating higher? Like Rashad White's going to be rated way higher than Jalen Warren if both of the running backs went down.
If Leonard Fournette went down tomorrow, you can make the case that Rashad White's a fringe top 15 running back.
Yeah, exactly. Like rest of the season. Like if he went down and blew his ACL tomorrow, like please don't. But Rashad White would definitely be a guy that everybody would be blowing 100% of their fab on if he was on their waiver wire.
Also, quick shout out to Leonard Fournette. What a beauty. He's already gotten the workhorse type of role. You know, he's gotten the usage, he's gotten the touches. And he went out on Twitter and he's like,
how the touchdowns are coming.
yeah. He's like, I'm sorry, I haven't scored a touchdown. It's like, yo, that's what's up. Keep doing you, brother. Keep doing you. Another super chat here from Margravia. Appreciate that. $1.99. He says Jed is set to tune into his presser if they win. I would assume he would. I mean, he's a confident player. He's arguably the best receiver in the NFL right now. So there's a chance he can go absolutely haywire, which is scaring me.
If the Vikings win this game convincingly, I think they're the second best team in the NFC.
I agree.
If the Eagles win this game convincingly, I think they're the second best team in the AFC or in the NFC.
I agree. It's premature, I know, and I'm not going to say that.
Dude, shut up! Don't bring up the Cowboys right now.
No, listen to me quickly, okay? I'm not saying it right now because I can't
dare bring up the Cowboys in this conversation.
All I'm going to say,
your guys' head's halfway underwater right now. You just need to live.
No, but listen to me. Like Dak is apparently coming back around week 5.
Said, "Here we go" in the chat.
Oh no. But listen, right? Dak is expected back now, week 5. The Cowboys in the next 2 games play against the Giants.
When is he back? Week 5? That's good news because
that's what Jerry's been saying. That's what Jerry and Steven are saying.
I'll take that. Fuck.
We play the Giants and the Commanders the next 2 weeks. If we can somehow get out of that stretch in 3-1. Then we have Dak coming back week 5 against the Rams.
Dude, even if you guys are 1-3, that's not terrible.
Still, though, 3-1's a lot better than 1-3.
No, of course it is. But, like, I mean, Prescott, if you guys have Dak, you should be one of the better teams in the NFC. So, I mean.
Gallup's expected back next week.
2-2. I would take 2-2, 2-3 if it ends up being week 5 when he comes back or whatever, week 6 when he comes back. I think if you can get near 500 before he comes back, you're in a good spot.
Also, I'm not sure if you saw the report from Michael Galkin today. The Cowboys
might play next week. Yeah,
expecting him to play Monday night.
I need him so bad for my Big Dogs Bash team. I have on that team I have Trey Lance, who's gone now, and it's a super flex league, so that's brutal. And Kenny Pickett's my 3rd quarterback, so I don't even have a starter. Burrow. I have Keenan Allen. I have Chris Godwin. I have DeAndre Hopkins. I have Michael Gallup. I have Brian Robinson. I have Kadarius Toney. All these guys that are like banged up and injured and terrible. So I really need some depth for that team because it is rough right now. Gabe Davis for me. Flex. For him. Oh yeah, we already answered that.
Appreciate you.
I'm already way down here. Okay.
Dubkey, another classic.
Russell Wilson. From a fantasy perspective, you probably might have better options that you can start in your starting lineup. From like a real life perspective, I think he'll be fine once the offense figures its shit out.
He's just got to play better. He's looked bad. And I don't know if it's a mental thing, a physical thing, maybe, change of scenery. Obviously, Hackett's been a factor too, but like Russ is just playing bad football. He doesn't look like the same player.
Yeah.
And again, it is concerning because he hasn't looked like a top 5 to 10 quarterback like he was in like 2018 since 2020. Because last year when we were willing to forgive him because obviously he had that fractured finger. I forget which finger it was. Didn't look good. We were willing to forgive that season, but we expected full healthy offseason with Russ, the best offense he's played in maybe of his career. I'm a little bit concerned.
Yeah. Is Pitts a bust? No, he's not a bust. Especially not in Dynasty. Don't sell him. In redraft, if you were offered that all day and twice on Sunday, but nobody's offering
Dynasty. Don't do that.
So yeah, do not do that in Dynasty.
Secondly, in another league, I traded for Kelsey. I gave Lenny and MT. I have Mahomes and was starting the Muth. I also have Swift, Aaron Jones, Dylan, Chase, Waddle, and a nice bench. A little bit steep for me because I really value Leonard Fournette, assuming, of course, this is redraft, which he does say, I believe. Leonard Fournette's going to be like a top 8 to 10 running back rest of the season right now, given the workload we've seen in the first couple of weeks. And given the oddly run-heavy nature we've seen from Tampa Bay. Well, not odd, because, I mean, your receivers are dealing with injury concerns, but, like, I still expected, even with, like, Russell Gage and Brashad Perriman, you guys would just force out the pass, but you guys have had more of a run-based type of game plan in these first couple games. And, I mean, Leonard Fournette just looks good, and he's getting the work. So a little expensive for me.
It's a combination of the receivers being hurt, the offensive line being inexperienced, Leonard Fournette playing well, game script that they've had for some of these games too.
Yeah.
They're probably going to be more balanced than we probably initially anticipated, just based on the offensive line play, especially with without Donovan Smith out there, they don't want to drop back to pass and have Brady.
That's fair too. Yeah, and I mean, it was Gadecki's first couple games in the NFL, so it makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Until once we have Jensen back and once we have Donovan Smith back and once Evans and Godwin are back, like this is an offense that, should be one of the best and one of the most pass heavy offenses in the league.
Yep. I agree. We actually got another super here. I'm with Danny. CD, my buy low, my favorite target. Yeah. So if you guys don't know, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, I actually basically tweeted out a thread how it's so weird with CD Lamb because going into the season, we were talking about his peripherals and we were talking about, well, he's got the talent to be able to command more targets. We see, he hasn't put up the raw point production and he hasn't been, playing well, but he's gotten the target share. 30.1% target share in the first 2 games for CD Lamb. And if anything is an indicator, we saw against the Bengals that Cooper Rush isn't just going to have this offense, completely void of points, or void of any type of future or any type of, potential. Like at least Cooper Rush can support the offense. And if that's the case and CD Lamb's getting, a 30% target share and 10, 11 targets per game, like he's going to be a wide receiver 2 for the time being. And as soon as Dak's back, he's still got the ceiling that we drafted him at. Only people aren't valuing him like that.
Yeah, and whenever Prescott comes back, I think Lamb is gonna, go up in value big time. And Gallup being on the field will probably help him out too.
Oh yeah, need that vertical threat.
We talk back and forth all the time about like, oh, do we want a wide receiver to dominate all the targets, or do we want multiple wide receivers out there to make the offense better overall? I think specifically in the Cowboys situation, I think it'll be much better once Gallup is out there rather than CeeDee Lamb getting all the targets. Ideally, we'd love the offense to be great, and CeeDee Lamb is just unstoppable and makes the offense great, and he's a 30% target share wide receiver, but I don't know if he's ready for something like that yet. I think Cooper Kupp is capable of doing that, and Justin Jefferson's capable of doing something like that. But CeeDee Lamb isn't there yet, so he probably needs Gallup out there to take some attention away.
Which isn't a negative, too. I mean, like just saying, he's not the caliber of a top 5 wide receiver just yet. That's not like a diss on CeeDee Lamb for those listening.
Well, it was a little bit for me, but
really,
well, yeah, because he's consensus like an elite talent at the position. I don't think he's there yet. I don't think he's going to be a needle mover quite yet.
Fair. I mean, yeah, that is fair.
Anyways,
you got where we left off.
Let's stop talking about the Cowboys. Nobody actually fucking cares about your team. So had a dope time at the Packers game and scored the most points in our FSC Dino League's history with Henry left to play. Yeah, Jesus. He hung some fucking numbers on my ass this week, man. Nate had Nick Chubb. He had Lamar Jackson. He had Jalen Waddle. He had Cooper Kupp. He had even Tyler Higbee in his tight end slot. Like, he hung numbers on me this week. So, yeah, I got absolutely rinsed.
TDP out 4 to 6 weeks. Wait, what?
What? I didn't even see
Where
that.
did you see what?
High ankle sprain. Is it Jordan
I
Mason?
Missed that? 32 minutes ago. No fucking way. Wow. Well, I'm going to have to take that out of tomorrow.
That's wild.
That's brutal, man.
Yeah, I guess. What is up with the 49ers running backs? They can never stay on the field.
Hey, Bush, that wasn't even an honorable mention. That was one of the top 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, of course. TDP was a great pickup this week.
Fuck. Okay.
So, yeah, Jordan Mason looks like he's going to be a guy this week.
Yeah, that sounds so gross.
Don't I have Jordan Mason on this team?
Wait, is that why we've gotten so many Jeff Wilson questions?
Maybe, I guess.
Interesting. Okay. You have where
I got Jordan. Dude, I got Jordan Mason on my Big Dogs Bash team. Thank God. I need depth in that league. I'm getting screwed. What's up, y'all? Goddard or Knox full PPR? Give me Dallas Goddard pretty easy there for sure. Yeah, sorry. I don't know why I just tripped out. I waited Akers and added 49ers running back. Oh, I waived Akers. Yeah, I would not have done that personally. I don't mind grabbing Jeff Wilson, but I definitely would not have dropped Cam Akers.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Sell Jeff Wilson Jr. for elite talent. I agree. I think if you can package Jeff Wilson and like Juju or maybe not Juju because he had a bad week, but Jeff Wilson and like, I don't know, who's a fringe wide receiver that had a great week. You could probably go Jeff Wilson and Christian Kirk into like an elite receiver or an elite running back.
I'll quickly add to a funny thing. In terms of Jeff Wilson Jr., he looked like, a player last week where it's like, okay, he'll fix you a couple weeks. He'll be fine. But I mean, with Elijah Mitchell out 8 weeks and with the workload he got, especially with TDP
no more
out now,
taking away carries,
there's a realistic chance he's going to get like 20, 22 opportunities per game with Elijah Mitchell out. We got what, 20 this week? And then TDP got 14 carries. Again, I don't expect them to be in a plus 20 winning game script every single week. But at the same time, it's like without TDP there, like what if he has like a 70% opportunity share? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's wild. He could get a big workload. I think. I mean, there's probably it's like Jermichael Hasty rostered in an
He's on the Jags. He's on the Jaguars.
Squad, or is he on their active roster? Because
he's on the Jaguars.
Is he on their active roster though?
The Jaguars.
Yeah, is he on their active roster, or can the 49ers snipe him away from their practice squad?
I thought you meant 49ers. Okay, he's on their active roster because he got game snaps this week.
Okay, because I was gonna say, because if they have like a former 49er like Hasty out there, they'll probably go and try and get him back. But anyway,
they just trade for Raheem
going to be
Mostert.
Jordan Mason, I guess, involved to some degree. So down 61, I have Diggs, Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, and Dawson Knox. He has a kicker. Do I stand a chance? Yeah, I mean, Hurts and AJ Brown and Diggs is definitely the guys that I want to rely on this weekend. You still have Dawson Knox too.
Maybe this is a little bold. I think you're going to get it done with those first 3 names.
Damn, that's a wild offer there, or wild take there. Hey, boys, got offered this. I'm trading away ETN side. ETN, London, CEH, Devontae Smith for Saquon and Pitts. So he'd be trading away the ETN side. Saquon, to me, is worth probably this package himself, to be honest.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It's a lot of depth to give up, I suppose, but I mean, Pitts
Saquon.
and Saquon. Give me Pitts and Saquon here.
Caveat, I mean, actually, even in Dynasty, Pitts is fucking worth this package easily on his own. Yeah, fucking smash it. Any format.
Yeah, for sure. Losing by 3, he has Knox. I have Gainwell and AJ Brown. I'm sure I'm in a good spot. Yeah, you're fine there. AJ Brown should be able to cover that for you. Panic on ETN or buy low? I mean, it depends what you mean by low. If the guy's gonna sell him for borderline nothing, then yeah, buy low. But if you got to pay up like a pretty solid piece for ETN, I'm probably gonna just let that guy deal with ETN struggles himself.
Yep. So let's smash through a couple of these because the first game did start. We'll go till what, 7:20, you think?
Yeah. We'll go through a couple here. I guess we missed some questions, obviously. If anybody
we'll smash
games, but
and by the way, for those of you watching, of course, we're gonna be live on Thursday. Patrons, we're gonna be live on Saturday, and then of course, every Sunday we're gonna be doing our Sunday morning live stream.
Yeah. Also, go Bills tonight. Plus 9.5. If it hits, I haven't actually showed.
They'd be minus 9.5.
Yeah, minus 9.5. This is what my bet flip looked like. You can answer a couple questions real quick.
Yep. I don't know where we left off. I'm gonna have to
on the screen.
And I'm thinking of trading Waller, ETN for Hawkins and Javonte Williams. Am I losing here? Hawkins have been quiet, but I still believe in ETN. I would rather Javonte Williams over Waller. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of Hawkinson, but I think Javonte Williams is going to be a league winner, so I would take Javonte's side.
Yeah.
Does hurt losing that positional advantage, though.
This is the bet. Here's the parlays that hit already. We got Atlanta plus 10.5, Arizona plus 5.5, Houston Texans plus 9.5, Buffalo Bills minus 9.5 brings this one home for a max win of $600. I could cash it out now for $326, but I'm not doing it.
By the way, Cole, huge W for the Amon-Ra and Javonte side. Please smash that
Holy shit. Yeah, that's a big W.
Yes, please. You have where we left off, right?
Yeah, 12-team Superflex PPR. I'm competing. Trade away Dylan, Bateman, Godwin, 2024 first, Jamal Williams for CMC and Adams. In a competitive window, I'm cool doing this. Honestly, it's a lot to give up, but I'm cool doing it for a competitive game.
I'm fine with it.
You're not giving up anybody elite, and you're getting elite production. So
we already answered this. Garrett Wilson. He asked that in a thing. I believe.
What's going on? Barkley or for Eckler and Dynasty?
I take Barkley.
Keep Barkley.
Yo, what do you think Lance Price is now in San Francisco? If you can buy low on,
but yeah,
and Superflex, if you can buy low on Trey Lance and Dynasty, go ahead and do it.
You might probably get him for like 1 first in some leagues. To be honest,
barely even. Yeah, you might have to give like a 1 and a 2, but like I would.
In some of my rebuilding teams, I'm definitely going to be sending out offers for Trey Lance because I think you'll be able to get him for like any random 2023 first, maybe plus a small piece.
Hypothetically, if you say a win now team had Trey Lance,
Garoppolo, you give him Garoppolo in a first or something.
I was gonna say even like Kirk Cousins in like a couple 2s. Do you think like someone would take that?
I know for a fact in one of my leagues I have Garoppolo and the guy that has Lance is competing, so I'm gonna offer him Garoppolo in a first for Lance.
That's a good deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Here, let's keep going quickly.
Yeah. Okay. Let's answer like 2 more questions, then we'll get out of here because I'm going to St. Louis to watch the game. Who should I start in my flex tonight?
A little late.
Crowder with Gabe Davis being, I guess it's too late, but I would have gone Devontae Smith there.
Agreed.
Thielen or McKenzie?
Thielen, please. Please tell me you did that.
Yeah, hopefully you did Thielen.
If you had to pick one, Aguilar or Brown, I would go with Noah Brown because as optimistic as I am that Gallup may potentially return this week, I think he's either going to be on a limited count or he might just say, okay, I'm going to progress this week in practice and then fully return for week 4 against the Commanders. So I would go with Noah Brown because I do think for 1 week, gets 5-6 targets. I just think Nelson Aguilar kind of popped off in that situation where realistically he didn't get a high target share. He just got that one big play where he absolutely mossed someone, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he fucking fucked it right off the guy's helmet. Rom actually asked, what are some of the bets you're laying down tonight? I actually have a random same game parlay. $10 pays out 531 if James Cook and Austin Hooper both score a touchdown. And then the other one that I have was a $30 odds boost on FanDuel Sportsbook. They had AJ Brown and Justin Jefferson to both record 90+ receiving yards for plus 450. So I put $30 down on that because I think that's a half decent chance of happening because Jefferson and AJ Brown are just that good. So,
yep.
Anyways, we're gonna head off of here. The game is live. Check it out.
Yep.
Check out the video earlier today about the lessons learned. Make sure you guys stay tuned for Danny's waiver videos, streamer video tomorrow, and then I will have trade targets Wednesday, and then Danny's gonna handle the wide receivers this week. I got the running backs this week, and then on Saturday we'll have our Patreon live stream and rest of season rankings for you. So jam-packed content. Make sure you guys are subscribed if you're not already. Check out the Patreon as well. Check out Underdog Fantasy, promo code FSE. If you guys want to get some pick'ems in before the Philly Vikings game kicks off, we can probably get some. There's probably some good lines right now. I bet there's, Jalen Reagor might have a revenge game line. Who knows?
Last thing I'll say, Elijah Moore stands over here. If somebody is scared because Garrett Wilson's looking good as well, or because, Zach Wilson's going to come back and it's going to ruin the offense, go put some feelers out. Last thing I'll say. But either way,
I already have Elijah Moore in my home league, but I would be buying him if I didn't have him already.
All right. Either way.
All right.
Take care.
Take it easy.